54D, counsel, your appearance.
Mr. Taylor, bar number 8688 for Mr. Balle, who's present.
And ma'am, your name, please?
Cynthia T. Balle.
And you're representing yourself today, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, you filed an opposition, and Mr. Taylor's just barely received a copy of it. I haven't had a chance to review it yet. I don't know. Apparently, it was filed on the 25th, but I don't know why it didn't come into our system until more recently. We have an issue where he indicates that the oldest child is residing with him, and he believes that the other children want to reside with him. Do you have any objection to having the children interviewed?
No. However, I would like to say that we went through all of this in length for a year and a half. We agreed to the stipulation order parenting plan. It was not ordered by you. There's been no change of circumstances, and this action on his part has to do with him trying to be relieved of his financial obligation due to a current lawsuit which he owes money on, and that is just the facts.
Well, the bottom line is, I'm going to have the children interviewed. The children's wishes, if they're not well-reasoned and articulated, don't mean anything to me. I don't care if the kids say they want to eat chocolate cake every morning for breakfast. They have to have a basis and a reasoning that the court can make a finding that it's in their best interest. The only reason I'm sending them down for the interview is just so I can ascertain if there are some issues, if there are some problems in either household. More often than not, what you get is children telling one parent one thing and children telling another parent another thing, because they know that the two of you probably don't get along and probably don't communicate, and so they play you against each other to try and maximize their benefits going both ways. So I'm going to ask them some very general questions.
Your Honor, the oldest child, Petra, reached the age of majority now. Do you want to have her interviewed?
No, I'm not interested. She can, if it gets to the point, she can testify, but no.
I didn't think so. Just clarifying.
Yeah, it's just going to be Sebastian, Trinity, and Christian.
And Your Honor, I just wanted to put on the record that in my motion I did state this, that there has been a severe, on Mr. Balle's part, undermining my authority with the children. When it comes to behavior issues, if the children don't like something, they'll call him on the phone. They don't think they really have to listen to me, so it gets into a big hoopla and argument in our home over it. This has been going on pretty much since we walked out of the courtroom 4 years ago. And I've asked him repeatedly to refrain from interfering in my disciplinary actions with the children. Teenagers are pretty easy. If you take a cell phone or a car away, they usually straighten up. I've had continual arguments, which was brought up at our trial 4 years ago, where they will say, "Dad bought this for me, so you can't take it away from me." And
all right.
whatnot.
I'm going to have the kids interviewed. I asked some fairly general questions. Any concerns at either house or with either parent? Either parent talk bad about the other, undermine the other's authority, their preference for residence, and reasons for the same. So I'm going to sign that. What are we, July 2nd? We're going to come back from that interview on July 2nd. Now, so Mr. Taylor, have you been involved at all in your client's litigation with Allstate?
I was originally as party, and I settled out like a year or two ago.
You were a party?
I was a party.
So you guys all got sued together then?
Yes.
And so beyond that, do you have any knowledge of what the final disposition of the case against your client is?
I do not. I left the case years ago, a couple years ago.
And sir, is there some kind of a non-disclosure that prevents you from telling us what the outcome of the litigation was?
Yes.
Yes, there is?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any pending action with any regulatory board or authority that prevents you from acting as a chiropractor?
Yes, I'm under investigation by the chiropractic board due to the outcome of the litigation.
And the actions that led to the investigation, did they occur prior to 2010?
I don't understand.
You being investigated for things that occurred prior to 2010?
Yes, since 2005.
At any time during your marriage, was your wife involved in the management or running of your business? All right. Mr. Anderson, briefly, if you want to make some argument as to the reduction.
Your Honor, I think right now the Child Support Division, they're looking back at the previous orders, and they advised Mr. Balle they were not able to make any sort of reduction because they thought it was sort of lump sum. They weren't considering it per child. And so right now the support that they're trying to collect includes all 4 children, not all 3. So that's maybe the first issue. I know that doesn't make any sense at all.
How much so they're trying to collect the, what, 3,700?
Correct.
Yes.
It's 3,720.
Your Honor, he reduced the amount by 25% when my daughter turned 18.
What's he
On
under
his
an
own.
what's he under an obligation to pay currently, ma'am?
I believe it's 28%. If it's changed.
Never 28%, ma'am.
Your Honor, can I
Do you
say
have a dollar amount that you think he's supposed to be paying?
The district attorney's office told me to go by the order that is current.
And what is that order? That's what I'm asking.
$37.80.
Huh?
$37.80 per month. It was not a per child.
Thank you.
order.
Do you have any other? Is that what it was for 4 children?
That's what it was for
No,
4
it wasn't.
children.
No, it wasn't.
No?
It was 3,720.
3720.
Yes.
Your Honor, my understanding is also that after she turned 18 and then moved in with the defendant, he continued to pay full support for about 3 months until she graduated from high school.
It was 2 months, and that's standard.
Ma'am, I can't retroactively modify any child support awards. So, do you have any income currently other than these residual business accounts?
I just started a business in February.
Doing what?
It's a weight loss center.
You have any net income yet from that business?
No, it just pays the overhead for the business, basically. If that, it doesn't even, because I don't even pay rent on the office space.
Is your license currently suspended?
No,
So you're able to work as a chiropractor.
I could, yes.
Have you made any efforts to find employment as a chiropractor?
Employment as a chiropractor pays $3,000 a month.
That's better than what you're making now, isn't
Well,
it?
here's the problem, though. No, because I still have the residual income. The problem is that I have this my weight loss center that
Well,
I do.
according to what you told me in your sworn statement, that's more than what you're making from the residuals on your business now, isn't it?
Well, yes. But the problem is that being the chiropractor, my name doesn't. Everything that I do, they put holds
It's a
on.
big town.
Well, it's actually like the.
Once you lost the opportunity to bill insurance, insurance isn't paying any chiropractors in this town.
Well, I was.
There's a small group of chiropractors that get insurances, right?
I never did health insurance, so it was motor vehicle accidents. It was.
Okay.
So I can't. No attorneys will work with me. I can't. my name on documents just doesn't hold any weight anymore. That's why the residual income isn't even what it should be either, because they're not paying the full amounts of the settlements anymore because my name is
Based
on
on the statements of the defendant, the court finds that he could generate an income of a minimum $3,000 per month. The court's going to set child support at $870 per month. That is going to be effective starting. Geez, this motion was filed in November? No. When was this motion filed, counsel?
I don't have a copy of the motion on me, Your Honor.
All right, well, don't worry about it. We'll make it effective for May, June, July, August, September, and October. Commencing in November, commencing in November, the child support. Actually, I'm just going to set you a status check to come back in November. Give me a date in the beginning of November.
I may be making more by then with my, so.
I hope so.
Me too. I have no issues paying her if I'm making more money, I really don't.
November 4th, Your Honor, at 2:30?
Your Honor, so the 870 month is starting this month? Or
This
starting?
month, due on or before the last day of each month. Okay? During the next 6 months, sir, if you have any windfalls, increases in income or employment, you are affirmatively required to notify the plaintiff of that income and provide documentation reflecting the same. W-2s, copies of pay stubs if you're an independent contractor, whatever. The court is going to reserve jurisdiction to retroactively modify your child support if you fail to self-report. Now, once November comes around, the court's going to require that on or before the last day of, or on or before October, let's make it the 14th. I want each of you to file a new FDF with the income information and the verification attached. Pay stubs, copies of checks, whatever it is you have.
I only have bank statements.
Well, you're going to attach those then. For the record, sir, if your business is not generating as much income as you could be making working as a chiropractor, I'm going to go with, at a minimum, the income that you could be making as a chiropractor. Ma'am, you're in a precarious situation. And I would advise that you seek legal counsel, because there's an argument to be made for willful underemployment. If his own actions have caused the decrease in his income, there's a legal theory that would entitle you to ask me to use his prior income to set the child support.
That's in my motion, I did ask for that.
Well, you have to spell out the legal authority, and you're going to have to provide some documentation. The court's going to open discovery during this period of time so that you can attempt to access records from the case with Allstate, files from the Chiropractors Board, so that you could document and prove that he's willfully underemployed or his willful actions have hindered his ability to generate an income.
I also have that and included that in my motion. His undisclosed settlement with Allstate Insurance, he filed this action the day after. And it is my fear that he is using whatever assets or income he does have to pay them off to keep him out of jail. His business partner and his employee are in federal prison right now. His father was involved, Andrew Taylor was involved, and he's behind over $9,000 in child support right now.
And you're saying this is all included somewhere in your pleadings?
Yeah, we mentioned it in the motion, and also he actually included it in his motion, the cover sheet, and I actually have what I could get. The records are sealed right now, so I couldn't get everything.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do know it was an undisclosed settlement with Allstate Insurance
File a
Company.
subpoena and ask me to sign it. I mean, even if they won't release it to you, they'll probably provide it to me for in-camera review.
I also included in there assets that he did not declare at the time of our trial.
Hold on a second.
And you did say that if you found out.
Hold on a second. Because I'm looking through your. I mean, I've got ADHD stuff. Is that your opposition?
He included in.
That's your opposition?
That's an exhibit, a part of
Okay,
it.
yeah. I've got pages upon pages of.
There should be business license copies.
Stop talking for a second and address me when I ask you a question, okay? So which one of these exhibits do you want me to look at? Because they don't seem to be numbered.
I believe there are 7 in total. And the business licenses should be between 1 and 4, I believe it is.
What is a business license going to show me?
And we included that because,
And I've got something from Anthem Forensics in 2009.
right, that was what he used to give basically what his net worth was. At that time, you said that if you had found out there were other assets he did not declare, you would consider those if you did find out about those. And in his motion, he basically handed you proof that he had other assets at that time.
What did he have? I mean, what are you talking
The business
about?
that he wants you to reduce his income from, he wants you to reduce his payments from, he's using a business he did not even declare at the time of our trial.
He just stated he started the business in, what, February?
Oh, that's a new one, yes.
No. The Allstate Insurance Company, the business that was being sued from that, he did not declare that as a business and an asset at the time of our trial in 2009.
All right, well,
And there are 3 other business licenses at least that he did not make you aware of either. And the checks he had been paying me out of were for another business that he didn't even, that we can't even find a business license for, and
who's we?
my paralegal.
Well, you know that your paralegal is a paralegal and precluded from giving you any legal advice. All they can do is help with paperwork.
Right, that's
They
what
can't do any investigation. They can't do anything else. If they are, then they're violating the law. And maybe you ought to just bite the bullet and go hire an honest-to-goodness attorney who can give you some real legal advice and help you with this motion.
I would love that, but I do not have the funds for an attorney.
Well, you're going to have to do a better job than what you've laid out in this motion. If you want to refile the motion,
He has not even paid his alimony payment in 2 months.
ma'am, I mean, if you want to file a supplement to this motion and pinpoint what omitted assets there are or were from the decree, what legal authority I have to increase his income, I'm more than happy to entertain that. But if not, then we'll see you here on November 4th. All right, Mr. Taylor, you're going to prepare an order for me?
I will. Your Honor, one final thing. Mr. Balle did make a payment to the Child Support Division today in the amount of $2,000. I don't know if you want to have her credit him back the difference between the $870 or...
You're telling me that he doesn't have any arrears at all?
I do, she can just have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your Honor, they're also collecting my alimony payments, which he is not making. He's in contempt of a court order right now that you handed down.
Well, ma'am, if you want me to hold him in contempt is my power and my authority, then you have to prove that he has the ability to pay and he's refusing to pay. That's what I'm saying. I don't see that there. If you want to file the documents that show me that he has the ability to pay you that alimony and he's willfully refusing to pay, I'm more than happy to do that. But
I have all my bank statements here. She wants to look at them.
At this point, Your Honor, the welfare division is going to be paying for these children. He is so far behind. I have no income. I have an eviction notice. All the bills are behind. And yet, he's been sending the kids home with new shoes, clothes,
Right.
taking them out of town on the weekend, so he has something.
Well,
And it,
here, hand me that child interview.
and I do understand that the child support is, according to his income. We also have an order for the, rehabilitative alimony payments.
Hold on a minute. I'll ask the kids about his spending habits. As for the alimony, the court is not going to reduce the alimony at this point in time. However, the court will not entertain motion for sanctions or contempt unless you can demonstrate that he has the ability to pay. I'm going to leave that alimony in place. I'm not inclined to make that deviation at this point in time. The unpaid amounts at the end of the term will be reduced to judgment and contain bear interest and penalties at the lawful rate. Okay. All right. Anything else, sir?
I currently have that being collected by the district attorney's office also. I'm just in a situation where I am close to graduating right now. I have a student teaching block that I'm supposed to be doing at Palo Verde High School starting in the fall.
Okay.
And any student loans that I can get are based on my taxes. So last year he paid, now he's not paying. So I'm kind of in a bad spot unless he at least pays that.
Mm,
I mean, I have no income other than that.
okay.
I mean, having to quit at this point in my education is,
Well,
I can't get a license to teach without doing this portion of the education.
you're going to have an order and a decree that says that you're entitled to the funds. I can't do any more than that at this point in time. If you file a schedule of arrears, or I mean, you probably got a judgment issued by the enforcement court.
Yes, I do.
So if you can find assets, you can seize them. You can go after that civilly. All right. Thank you very much. You'll prepare the order for me.
Will, Judge.
Thank you. Good luck.
The district attorney was waiting for an order from you before they said that they couldn't do anything until you.
Yeah, he's going to prepare that order, and as soon as I sign off on it, they'll start doing that.
Your Honor, so they need to take the children down to Pecos.
They'll call and schedule the appointment. And this is case D 08392-854D. State your appearance for the record, ma'am.
Cynthia Balle?
And you, sir? All right. Have you both had an opportunity to review the child interview? Okay, ma'am, is there anything specifically in that interview that you want to call to the court's attention?
I do.
What's that?
I just had a few minutes, so I just jotted it down while I was waiting. One, I'd just like to say any discipline that I have imposed on the kids, the defendant has continuously and historically undermined over the phone with the kids.
Well, I'm going to give you a chance to talk about that later, but
Well,
right now
specifically-
specifically, is there anything? Tell me a page number, a paragraph, if there's
Okay.
something in that report that you want to call to my
I
attention.
don't have a copy of it, so I don't know the page numbers, but the quote-unquote yelled at, if and when is done, is only after repeatedly and exhausting attempts, which is sometimes weeks of telling them to do something that
Okay.
it doesn't get done.
All right.
Another was Sebastian, who has a hard time in school right now. He does have a disability, which he was being treated for and on medication. The defendant refused to abide by the 30-30 rule and reimburse any expenses that insurance didn't cover for his therapy. He also told Sebastian that the doctors didn't know what they were talking about. He didn't need to be on medication. They were quacks.
Okay,
so
that's
he's
not in
off
the
of
report
that.
either.
Okay, so with Sebastian saying we don't get along, well, yeah, we don't get along because he's in a lot of trouble right now. And he,
Okay.
you know,
Well, don't, you know
Another-
what, don't worry about what's in the child
Okay.
report, just
okay.
Tell
Another
me-
thing,
say what it is you wanna say.
I do. With the littlest one saying we don't do things together, I am continuously taking him to the park. I'm a co-leader in his Boy Scout troop, so we do that weekly. So I'm always with him. We do outings, camping trips, which we just did like 2 weeks ago. I volunteer in his classroom. And the kids said I'm gone all the time. The only time I'm gone, they're usually at school. Any other time would be if I had a night class last semester, I had to be there till 6 on Mondays and 5 on Wednesdays.
So why do you think the kids paint such a stark and contrasting picture here?
Well, I'm going to tell you the day of the interview, which was not the defendant's visitation day, I told him I'd pick them up after school, especially Sebastian, who cannot miss any more school, and bring them there by 3:30. He went to the school before I could get there and got them from the school after I said no. And he basically told them what to say. The little one, for the rest of the night, kept saying, oh, they're not going to listen to me anyway. I'm only 7. I'm like, what's wrong with you? What are you talking about? It continued over into the next day, and he said he forgot to say everything that his dad told him to say. But they're not going to listen to him anyway because he's only 7. So what was the reason he had to run over to the school and pick them up on a day that was not his day, on the day of this interview?
All right. Well, the good news is, ma'am, we're going to have an evidentiary hearing before I modify the custody. So you're going to get an opportunity to call and question your kids while they're on the stand and see what they were told by Dad and how they really feel. Okay, how's that sound?
Oh, that's fine, but
What's the current visitation schedule? When do you have the children?
right now, Your Honor, I'm living in a suitcase out of my car, and the kids are staying with him. I said temporarily he could take his vacation. He hasn't made an alimony payment.
How long has that been
It's
going
been,
on?
we had to be, no,
Since the 6th
The
of June,
12th.
I've
Sir?
had them.
You're going to get an opportunity, okay?
it's been, our lease was up the 12th of June. I couldn't enter into another lease because he has not been making his
Okay,
payments.
so for a while though, the kids have been living with him.
3 weeks now.
All right,
And
3
I-
weeks.
Deem that as his vacation time because we each get 3 weeks. I'm waiting for my deposit on the last house we were in to pay for a new one. He still has not made an alimony payment. And I would just like to bring this up to the court right now. I found 12 jobs, which his 2 degrees qualify him for right now, and he's not out looking for work.
So, sir, how are you supporting yourself?
I have a business,
And what's that business?
Las Vegas Fat Loss Center.
Lot,
Business that I just opened a couple months ago. And I have residuals that are coming in sporadically from the previous business that I had.
and so when was the last time you made an alimony payment or a child support payment?
I made the child support payment in May, at the end, on the 30th, and
How
I,
much did you pay?
the $870 that you said to pay.
All right, and when was the last time you made an alimony payment?
I gave her $2,000 in May.
Which was the first one he had made since March,
It's
February.
all my bank statements, what's there, what I paid her, so.
And the district attorney's office gave me a schedule of arrears. He owes over $13,000 in back child support. As of now, $20,000 as of July for his alimony
Got it.
payment.
I got it.
And I can't find a job. I'm not qualified for anything. I haven't finished my degree. And he has 2.
All right. Well,
You said that if I could show you that he was willfully underemploying himself, or that he could make more as a chiropractor than he is at this center, that you would consider that. I found just on the U.S. Bureau of
well, you understand that the U.S. Bureau of Business and Statistics.
Well, I did some investigative work and called some chiropractic places that are looking for work, and he could be making over $40,000 a year working for somebody else, which is way more
Which is
than
what I
the
said,
$2,000 that he's making. That's over $3,000 a month right there.
That's what I
Plus,
said
with his
before.
degree, he could teach. He could substitute for Clark County School District right away. He could teach in the college level. He also has a Bachelor of Science. I mean, I can't teach that, and that's what I'm going to school for.
Okay. All right.
He could find 1, 2, 3 jobs. I'm like reduced to Albertsons or fast food restaurants right now.
We're going to set the matter for an evidentiary hearing. Well, actually, I'm not going to set the matter for an evidentiary hearing. The kids are staying with him for right now. I don't know how long it's going to take you to get on your feet. If you want to file a motion to have him held in contempt for failing to pay the alimony and so forth, you can do that.
I did that when you were
I'm going to
here.
set the matter for a status check in 90 days.
All right, you also told him to self-report, which I
Ma'am,
don't think's been
In
done.
90 days, we're going to come back on a status check. I'm going to open discovery. You can request whatever documentation that you need from him or his employers or whatever else, and we'll see you back in 90 days.
All right, Your Honor, did you happen, when we were here last time, you said you had not had a chance to read my opposition and my counter motion that I had submitted last time? And I did put a lot of the things that you were asking for were in that.
Okay. And we'll address all those things on October 1st at 2:30. All right, good luck, folks. We'll see you back here on October 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, just one more thing before we leave. Mr. Taylor entered a order from the last time we were here, and he slid something in here that Your Honor never said. The court is not going, well, you said you aren't going to reduce his alimony, and will not entertain a motion for sanctions or contempt unless mom can provide proof that dad has the ability to pay and he refuses to pay. Your Honor never said that. It's not
Well-
even in the minutes.
I'm saying it now. I'm adopting that because that's my standard language.
Okay,
Okay?
so just submit the paperwork that you need for that.
For what? If you want to, if your counter motion has a claim for the arrears
It does.
and contempt, then we're going to continue that. We'll hear it on October 1st again.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
So am I just to keep the kids with me?
Yep. But you're not relieved from the obligation to pay child support at this time. Okay?
Have the kids and pay her
Yep.
double the amount, basically.
Now, can you clarify that?
For the kids to live with me and pay her for the
Yeah.
kids not living with her.
Yeah, until such time as I officially modify custody or something, that's the way it is. I mean, if you had consistently been paying the child support and the alimony and she wasn't homeless because of your failure to meet your obligations, I would certainly be treating you differently.
I
But-
did pay her the child support and alimony up until we went to court.
Right, and that's why she's now homeless and the kids have been living with you for 3 weeks. It's because you froze her out. Okay, I don't know if that's the...
I didn't
Listen,
actually.
I don't know if that's the actual case or not.
Okay.
But
All right.
that's
I
the
just-
result.
okay. All right.
And so that's what I'm saying. You still have an obligation. Okay, until I issue an official order modifying custody officially, then you're still under that obligation. Now, I understand
I'll do what
it's
I
a
can. Okay.
burden on you,
I understand.
but the obligation is still there. Okay, good luck, folks.
Now, if I get the place, when I get
And
the
yeah,
deposit,
the
then-
prior orders are all in full force and effect. See you in October.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Page 15. Cortez.
To me. This is case D08392854D. Counsel, your appearances, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brandon Play on behalf of Cindy Balle, who is present, bar number 10402, appearing unbundled.
Andrew Taylor, 8688 for Mr. Balle is present.
Okay. Do we have an updated FDF somewhere, Mr. Taylor?
Don't believe so, Honor. We'll have to get one filed. I just got some information from Mr. Balle that he's now employed working at a chiropractic office. I have a letter from that office.
Do we have any pay stubs or a contract or anything like that? Who are you working for?
Earl Chiropractic.
Earl.
Earl, E-A-R-L-E.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah. This is not my Latin. I know, legal Latin, but what the heck's a tenant locum?
That's temporary for like vacation relief.
All right. Independent contractor, full-time.
I'll have to get you- fill out an email.
All right.
We'll get a new financial disclosure form filed in the next few days.
So, where are we at, Mr. McCoy?
Well, with respect to spousal support, there haven't been any payments that have been made since January of 2014. The court temporarily reduced his child support to $870. That was supposed to be reviewed. And then the last time we were here in court, he was advised to either get a job or multiple jobs to be able to take care of his obligations. We would like to see a 1099 or a copy of a check, something that shows that he's in fact earning $3,000. But at the end of the day, my client hasn't been able to finish her student teaching. She has taken a permanent temporary job. She's filling in for someone through the end of the year just so she can have some income. And it's just for this school year. And in order to finish up her student teaching, she has to do, or excuse me, get her certificate, she has to do student teaching, which is free, obviously. And so, anyway.
Free
she's-
for the school district, but not for her.
Exactly. So, she's taken this position as basically a substitute till
You don't have any other classes that you gotta take? You've taken the Nevada education law, you're not at that
I'm done.
bottleneck
Right,
where
yeah.
there's 8,000 people and only 2 sections of the class open.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
completely
It's
finished 4
just-
years of my degree.
Yeah. It's just her student teaching.
Which
She could
is only
fast track
one
it.
semester, right?
16 weeks.
Correct. Should be a semester. So we're asking that the spousal support be paid. He's been claiming that again he's out of work.
I don't know, he's claiming he's gone back to work.
Well, now but during this time up until he just barely got this job as of what? I guess December.
I got it. We were here in October,
Yeah.
and that's when I harangued him enough that
They're burying themselves.
Right.
that rather than I mean, I don't know if he's still planning to do weight loss clinic on
I-
the side or whatever,
I
but,
had to close.
Okay.
It, yeah.
because like I say, I don't have a problem with you working for yourself, but you gotta be able to
Well,
meet the
this is kind of an opportunity to work for myself at the same time.
Yeah.
I can make a little paycheck in the
because
meantime.
I'm assuming that's what the bonuses are gonna be based
Correct.
on, is what you bring in. and-
Right.
Okay.
But I have to go back to like kind of what you know.
Well,
working
and I'm
like I was
sure he's going to
before.
claim that he can't pay increased child support, he can't pay spouse support because it's only $3,000. Yet we can't verify it.
Well,
So-
you can. I mean, you
I
got
will.
the letterhead, right?
Your
So
Honor,
look, I mean, what we're here today for is a status check, and I've got the status, and it's a step in the right direction.
Right.
Okay, it's a huge positive step towards being able to verify and ensure that he's being paid commensurate with his skills and market.
I agree.
Okay, so $3,000 for 90 days sets the child support at $870. Okay, that's based on 29% because Petra she's 19, she's out of school.
Right. Yeah.
So the $870 child support is the appropriate amount under the $3,000. When the child support, when the increase to $4,000 becomes effective, obviously the child support would increase or should increase, and the appropriate amount at that point would be $1,160. And so I'm going to require, Mr. Taylor, that your client's going to be under an affirmative obligation to notify when that increase takes place, and to adjust the court's going to automatically require an automatic adjustment of the child support on the first full month after he receives that increase. Then, as for the alimony, now the obligation on the alimony is currently how much? Did I reduce that?
No.
It was never reduced, right?
No, it wasn't reduced. In per their decree, Your Honor, from January 2014 to November 2014, it was to be $4,000 a month, and then December 2014 to December 2016, it would be $3,000. So we could have some payments towards that. That would be extremely helpful.
It would be extremely helpful, but where's it going to come from?
Well,
Have you been able to uncover any undisclosed assets? Any source that could be paid from?
well, we haven't seen his FDF. If we took the 3,000 minus the 870, there may be additional income. I don't know where he's living, his address, if he's even paying rent or.
An additional consideration that should consider is that the children have been living with Mr. Balle. He has incurred that additional expense.
I know. Are you in a new place yet?
So I started this new position at a high school, like he said, for a vacancy. So now I will have a steady paycheck. I've been working for a month at another long-term vacancy. So I'll have a paycheck on the 4th of February and then another one 2 weeks after. And at that time, I will be able to get a place. And I also wanted to bring up, I just don't want any trouble when we have a place and the kids, like, I can take them back.
So she's
You're not going to have any trouble with me.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what your kids are going to tell you, but look, at this point in time, I just want to address the monetary issues. The court's going to set the 870. The court's satisfied that he is making diligent efforts towards having a verifiable income, one that we can compare to standards in the community. And so at this point in time, we're going to leave the child support set at 870. I've addressed the child support issues. As for the alimony, I'm going to offer a temporary reduction in the alimony while the salary is at $3,000 a month. The court will require an additional $130 a month to be paid for alimony. $130.
So that's an even 1,000 total is what you're.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then once the income goes to 4,000, then the alimony would be increased to we're going to go to 400 until so it'll be 130 for January, February, March. And then for April, May, June, and July, through the end of July, it'll be 400. Before the end of July, give us another. Well, you don't even have to fill out a new FDF. Just provide copies of. Because he's not going to have like a W-2. You're going to get. Sounds like it's going to be 1099s.
I think so. I think that's how he wants to do it because I'm going to
That's-
be an independent contractor,
Yeah.
really. I'm just seeing his patients in the meantime, basically.
So we're going to need a full disclosure of the payments, including bonuses, before the end of July.
Well, there probably won't be any because they're based off of car accidents and it takes like
I know,
9 months to a year.
but you're going to
Yeah.
provide.
Okay.
You're going to
Just
provide
I'm just letting you know
what
that-
you've got, and then starting in August. In August, I will reinstate I will increase the alimony to $1,000 a month, subject to if you can't afford that, if you're still not making that kind of money, you'll need to petition the court for to continue the offset, the reduction. And Mr. McCoy, if you think that that amount is inappropriate, you can petition the court to increase at that time. Is there any way you can do your student teaching while you're employed? You can't go and do night school somewhere, or
I even asked about summer school. They don't give those jobs to anybody but current teachers in the district. My other option is to finish a different degree, which will take me another year and a half.
what about now? Does the student teaching have to be in a CCSD school, or can you go to one of the charter schools? All right.
So I'm gonna have to go back and finish another degree, which will be 30 credits, which is
Don't-
a year and a half.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to, but you need to.
Yeah, that's the issue, though. She's not in school, so she doesn't have the student loans. Your Honor, can I get a copy of that letter?
Yeah, I'm sure
I
you.
didn't get a chance to read.
You don't need a copy of that, do you?
Do I?
You don't need it.
I don't need it.
No. Yeah.
So April.
I really brought it for you.
Okay. All right. And he's. All right. Well, we'll send this order to the Child Support Division to.
Right, and the court will leave discovery open for a period of 90 days. Anything else?
Then he'll file an FDF in the next 10 days, or.
Yeah. Well, in the next 2 weeks, let's get an updated FDF. Give him a chance to. I mean, you are working there now. You've been working.
I
there
have
for-
been since, well, I did the 15th of December, I did a free week because I just trained, but then from the 20th, I think was the following week, I started as the vacation relief.
Yeah.
And then when he came back from vacation, he just kept me on full-time,
Okay.
basically.
All right. So you've been
Yeah.
under your
It's about 3
probation.
weeks now.
Your probation started then.
In January.
Okay.
January 1st,
All right.
not before that.
All right. And so when he pays you with a business check.
Well, here's what happened. He really paid me for the vacation relief.
I got that. I'm just
Yeah.
asking. He's not paying you cash.
No,
or he's
no,
not
no, I
writing
know. I got a
you-
check. I cashed the
It's
check.
not a personal
No,
check.
it's a
check out of
business
a
check
business
from his
account.
company. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I should have copied it. I just cashed it. I didn't make
Well,
it.
yeah, no, you need to. Well, usually the business checks. I don't know if he's giving you the two parts.
No, he just gave me, I just the one. He just gave me the one.
Make
part.
sure that you make copies and you
Yeah,
keep copies.
I'll do that
of
next time.
All
It was
the,
for 2,000 so far, though.
Yeah,
It was
make
what-
make sure you make copies of all of those, rather than having us
Yeah, I'll
look at a
photocopy
bank
them.
statement.
I
and
thought of it
guess.
after I did it, so I didn't deposit. I
Right.
cashed it.
Okay. I congratulate you on your new job and taking positive steps. I know it's not what you're accustomed to. It's not what either of you want.
I don't see how he can make as little as I do when he has 2 degrees. I don't have a degree.
Well,
I make $90 a day.
There's people out there with better degrees than him that aren't making any money right now either. It's
Yeah,
But-
it's been frustrating, Your Honor, and I know
but-
you're aware.
still, you got to admit this is better than the alternative
Yeah.
where he's working for himself and we can't verify the
Right.
income and we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'd like to recommend that maybe he get a second job when the kids move out because he does owe
Well,
this and it's not fair to me at all.
The bottom line is he's taken a step in the right direction. It's verifiable, and hopefully this will provide him the cushion to get back in a position where he can open his own practice and make money again. But chiropractors, he's not the only one out there that's hurting right now. It's a
The other issue, Your Honor, were some taxes.
She's not
that
responsible for any of them.
Really? It's on my
that he's
taxes.
supposed to be taken care of, that he's not. That's
right.
Which is-
affecting her credit, and so
and the late
that
payments,
needs to
too.
be addressed.
Well,
It's-
And the late
that
payments.
listen, Mr. McCoy. There's nothing I can do to tell the IRS who owes the taxes. That's the IRS.
I'll
So
advise her accordingly.
and take it up with them. I mean, the best I could do is if there's a decree or an order that says he's going to hold her harmless and indemnify her,
Was one.
I can order him to indemnify her
Right.
and reduce when they seize money from her checks. I can issue a judgment, but that's all I can do. I have no authority to tell the IRS who owes a debt.
Yeah, it was just in our divorce decree that
Yeah.
he took
Well,
all responsibility.
Understand
Yeah.
that what that entitles you to is if they seize a return, if you were entitled to get $1,500 back and they seize that, then I can order him to reimburse you $1,500. But that's all I can do as far as the taxes goes. Absolutely, I have no authority over those guys.
But I think in the
Would that
original,
I did, but
I think in the original one, we did hold her harmless in the original.
yeah. All right, so good luck, folks.
sorry, with respect to the child support, if we can have it set, I believe we discussed it last time that it would be broken up first.
My payment terms
and
are
the
always
15th or
on or
whatever.
before the last day of the month. If you guys stipulate to something else and put it in a decree, that's fine. But and the only time you're coming back to me is on a contempt issue, it's all due on or before the last day of the month. Okay? All right, anything else?
He's
Thank-
missed one of those payments.
No, I have not.
Okay, look,
No, I have
file
not.
the,
I have
we're here on
not.
we're here on a status check. It's my time, it's my status. If you wanna hold him in contempt or something, feel free to file the appropriate motion. All right, good luck.
They hold me in contempt and it's not true. What happened to that? Did they get in trouble for that? Because I'm not late. I paid everything.
They have to file.
Okay, we're done.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Prepare and send it to,
All right,
defense
Mr. McQuail,
counsel.
prepare. Thank you.
I have
Life has to start over again.
page 10, I have the plaintiff.